Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious, wonderful 1v1 here on Crossing in the Woods in the north. It is Caesar fighting here for the British Army. The Commonwealth rolling out here with the 7th Armoured Division tasked with pushing onwards towards Caen, with tactical support regiment chosen with raid sections, command vehicles, air resupply operations, forward observation posts, and the crocodile in the south is Prabuty fighting here for the Wehrmacht Germany, Deutschland, holding the line here with the 272nd Infantry Division here with Overwatch featuring Jägerline Infantry Recon Squads, early warning systems for the fatherland, Feldhaubitze, and Sector Assault. We got a double focus start here versus a raid section start here for Caesar. Allows them to get out some more troops more aggressively. 5-man start there instead of just 4 sections. Plus, we can upgrade the Vickers K. They got Molotov, Sprint, and Mines, so definitely a bit more flexible. Second raid section for Caesar. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their wonderful support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to every one of those sponsoring the Propagandacast on a daily basis. Other people can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or they can consider donating via PayPal. Links are in the description. And also consider, if you're kind of pre-order Companies 3, do so via the link in the comments and use the CoH2 for the in which case I get a part of the sale there. So if you're going to do it, you can do it there. And finally, just comment, like, share, subscribe. So, full space here in the east. 2 squads moving up. Basically in the eastern field points as well. They're in the west, though. Caesar's advancing here as well. With absolutely no opposition here. Second raid section up. We got a total of 3 raid sections. It allows them to get in more aggressively and flexibly against his opponents. Of course, let's see where that goes next, though. Meanwhile, just busy in the east here, Prabuty and his Volksgrenadier truck on the way here. Guess there's going to be setting up for some Jägers here to deal with those verdammte Inselaffen. Go first engagement here, close to Caesar's base. Perhaps not expecting the Germans to be that close. Of course, is about to go straight here for Prabuty's car on here. Proving that he too can be aggressive. In fact, got a raid section. In fact, we got 2 raid sections. Caesar here completely outmaneuvering Prabuty, but going for his car point. Of course, technically there is a slight risk. Of course, he leaves his own car points there open. But if you can get, Prabuty's reactors move first, that obviously works out there for Caesar's full squad. They're close being wiped out here by all the infantry troops here under Caesar's command. But there we go. Prabuty has taken the bait. He's moving his forces. If Caesar can set a good position, he would definitely make this very, very uncomfortable for Prabuty. And there it goes. Focus squad rushing into the section and the 2 raid sections here. Damage being inflicted by the British starting to take losses. Full squad moving in. Then we've got the Sturmpunie around from the other side. Section pushed off, falling back here towards cover. We also got the other raid section up north here. Tech on the way there for Caesar back at his base. You can see the little pop-up there for the platoon command post. Sturmpunie charging the raid section. There you go. Prabuty launches his schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper at the raid sections, disrupting their formations, allowing the Sturmpunie to get a bit closer here, and thus turning a mess here into Caesar's otherwise carefully laid out plan here. There's definitely taking some damage. Raid section up north here versus the Volksgrenadiers there. Raid sections keep fighting, but they are being bled dry here by the men under Prabuty's command. And there go Jägers out here for Prabuty. As for Caesar, no sign of anything else here. No medics, no machine guns, no officer. Nothing here so far. Go to the fight against the raid section. I want diving off here. Truck falling back. They're probably going to take for the Belgrade headquarters soon. He could those surprises with a mechanized regiment. And there we go. Jägers jotting in the fun here against Caesar. He said the raid section just keeps pushing ahead. I imagine he's going to go straight for the fuel point here and just try and mess again with Prabuty's economy that way. Sniper here for Caesar. Going to try and bleed out those bloody hands. The good old-fashioned sniper. Meanwhile, the Jägers on an aggressive path themselves, heading westwards here. Probably going to try and hit some cut-off points there. East side, there we go. Fuel point and the cut-off point there being secured. We got mines here, though, by Prabuty. But obviously, was not expecting them to take this path there. They could technically maybe get in a retreat. Maybe, but that said, they're more likely to, I think, take that path. Volksgrenadier moving up here. There's some pretty aggressive maneuvers in the early game for both sides. Definitely not that aggressive level of aggressive play typically see from a Brit play here that Caesar's displaying, which is probably why to a degree Prabuty was caught that much off guard by it. There you go, Brandhand Granada pushing back the raid section there. Skirmish in the west, the Sturmpunie caught laying down mines, almost getting wiped out here, and of course the mine has been, shall I say, spoiled. There's a surprise. And again, Caesar could end up assuming his opponent, you know, cancel the mine. We'll have to see. But the way he's moving about, I don't think he's doing that. Sniping up the west side here. Jaeger's creeping about. Right line found the sniper, could get up for kill there. There you go, raid section also blocking off. His sniper just retreats. Caesar there taking no chances. I'd say that was very smart there in the southeast here. Section think about. And full retreat here. Interesting. Perhaps he was worth more. Or it could have been like he only meant to retreat that one, but accidentally got caught up with the other unit as well and retreated that as well. I do hate when that happens personally. Sappers on the way for Caesar. Jaegers have been bled out in the face of the raid section. Without their G43 sniper rifle or marksman rifle, the Jaegers definitely tend not to perform particularly well. So, no particular surprise they end up losing that engagement, but he can soon upgrade them with the G43 once he gets the munitions for it. Digging in there in the east. West side, we got the raid section of the foot's going to be here. No music, by the way, that's a bit odd. Just realised that. Now moving up. And our flak half attack here for Prabuty. What happened to the music, though? Well, guess that's a little glitch. East of the Sturm unit charging in the raid section, charging ahead for Deutschland there, looking to overwhelm the Inslav there behind their sandbag walls, and there you go. Quickly ripping through those Tommies. On the west side here, though, troops being bled out, could get wiped out. In fact, looks like he narrowly avoids such a tragic fate for his men. Flak half tag almost done there for Prabuty. Jaegers there waiting reinforcements, and a T-33. Mines here by the cover. Sharp play there by Prabuty. Always a piece of advice that you can consider is like, you know, if your opponent's laying down cover, that's a great piece to lay down a mine because they're like going to try and make use of that cover in the future. So, you know, mining their cover, you know, means you're more likely to have your mine do something. Obviously, not a teller mine, though. No. Just in case. But Dane, I thought you would mean any kind of mine. Nope, just anti-infantry mines. Anyways, got the western fuel point there, and we got resupply operation here, giving him an anti-tank gun and a mortar, thus boosting Caesar's firepower significantly, plus he gets free healing. Well, free, but you know, discounted healing, I guess? Are these pastries from Greg's? Yes. Oh. Sturm Pioneer routed, troops reinforcing, and there we go. Medical supplies, mortar, and a 6-pounder gun. In the southwest here, we got flak half track there. Jaegers pushing back the raid section there. Mines going off in the east here, killing Soul section members, leaving only poor Charles there alive. Good lord, everyone's dead! And worse, the tea's ruined. So grab the 6-pounder gun. There's no sign of the mortar yet, though he would definitely benefit from mortar. And there we go. He's, of course, decisively nabbing up that mortar. Meanwhile, we've got a machine gun there for Prabuty and the German army here, the 272nd Infantry Division. A raid taking charge of the Volksgrenadiers is here, though not quite aggressively enough to contest the point. And the section just retreats here, narrowly avoiding a full wipe there. Close call there for Caesar. Otherwise, he does have like a fairly, you know, large-ish force here with, you know, 4 sections, sappers, sniper, 6-pounder gun, and a mortar. That is a fair amount of forces there. Flak half tag on the east here, supporting just in case there are some Englishmen hiding about there. But yes, otherwise, I mean, Prabuty's managing pretty good food control here versus Caesar, denying Caesar crucial fuel here, while also getting himself a good amount of fuel there. So that's really good there for Prabuty. As against the English, you definitely don't want to get up to much fuel because they can really quickly take up there and quickly push into armor if you're not careful. Machine gun there, ripping into the raid section there. Got the eastern fuel point, western fuel point there being held up by the Jaegers. Still no G for the free on them, honestly. It's definitely a bit awkward there for Prabuty. Mortar could also feel like move a bit closer to the front line here for Caesar. It's going to kind of be like a fairly limited amount of terrain there where there might actually be Germans. Particularly like, you know, Prabuty so far is focusing more on the eastern fuel and the western fuel. Having the mortar all the way here is particularly, I think, a bit wasteful. But there you go. He's moving the mortar more towards the east, though that's not really where most of his forces are, so he might just be doing it to, like, mess with Prabuty. It's a possibility. Medics all made for Caesar. Could also take up here soon. Certainly so could Prabuty, but he's not going to be pushing for any tanks soon there himself. Despite excellent fuel control to degree, he's denying Caesar fuel. He doesn't actually have that much either. This is not like Caesar and China's not being lax. There are there. Go straight into mine, suffering heavy losses. 2 men dead in the dirt there. More troops are following up here in the assault. East side here we got raid section force. They equipped with the Vickers K upgrade. Looking to hit the German machine gun there. Mortar there blasting away there for the British Empire. He should be in theory. There we go. Then worth noting, he's not really barraging, but still gets a good hit there. Further causing collapse in the east side for Prabuty in the 272nd in the center. Sturmpioneer charging in there fearlessly. Going on a rampage here, but they are going to have to retreat to the pack. About to get wiped out here with the sniper in the sections. In fact, there's an incredibly good chance of wipe here unless Prabuty gets very lucky, which apparently he does. Lucky Prabuty. Flak after around here with the raid section east here. Gonna put an end to that raid. Back hit reinforcing healing. No sign of tech yet there for Caesar. Raid section digging in, but there's the flak half tech with the 2-cylinder flak, and crucially, very little health here. I think the best decision we can see that Caesar can make is just to retreat. Narrowly avoiding that mine again. That's going to feel a bit awkward there for Prabuty, at least frustrating. Like just looking at all the units running right past the mines, but just not detonating them. Alter being moved forward, so we've got points now. Alter the move here. Need to doesn't push the sniper too far, particularly negative cover. Close call there. And the center of the raid section is once when we charge for the Eagles, who are finally getting the G for the free marksman rifle, and the West Fox is busy here. Got the flak after force here for Prabuty. Big push here with the second Jaeger squad, by the way, there up for Prabuty. Interesting enough, he actually upgraded the one he called in second, not the one first there, the more veteran one. That's definitely peculiar there. Good. Continues up the drive here for the center. Caesar clearly not ready for that. It's got nothing here. No machine guns. No enough like major concentration infantry. Nothing. So this is just a strong push here by Prabuty. Completely bisecting here Caesar's territories. That is an excellent push here. Though Caesar at least able to, I think, prevent a complete collapse of supply lines, but it's not looking great. And the east side here, he is pursuing the flak half track, but without any more, I think, heavier firepower here. I think trying to finish it off is going to be a Herculean task there for Caesar that would end up likely costing him more than he gained from it. Sniper there getting a kill on the Jaegers. Tech down there for Caesar. And he's actually very close to like either the center or the Cromwell, either which would quite not right now be quite devastating for Prabuty, having no anti-tank weapons, no Panzerschrecks, and certainly being fairly far removed from like any armor. Like either far center Cromwell here would be quite powerful, and again highlights just, you know, the sheer efficiency of the British tech, but like even with some amount of harassment like we saw for Prabuty, you know, denying fuel, the British tech is just so efficient that even with that they can still get out a tank relatively well timed.
We're losing a capture point.
Got the section ring in there. Also, they're being pushed back. Possibly even a wipe here going to be extended there to Prabuty's full grenadier here. Other squad moving in to try and block here, and there go, narrowly survives it. On the west side here, sniper mortar going at it against Prabuty's western machine gun crew here. Mortar still not barraging. That's a bit of an oversight there by Caesar, as it is a really good ability and definitely gets you a lot more out of your mortars, but rather than just having them auto fire. In the center there, or in the east center, raid section right about the flak half track and all the Jaegers. Prabuty launches another assault force here, ready to hold every inch of sacred German territory. But wait, we're in France. Shh, don't tell anyone else. And there you go, Caesar can soon go for the Cromwell. More mortar fire here, in case there are more Germans hiding about there in the dirt. Schwerer panzered quarters going up here for Prabuty and the German army. Caesar can more or less now go for... Well, he could go for the center already. Now could go for the Cromwell. Like, considering what Prabuty currently has, the center I think would be a strong choice here for Caesar, because no immediate threat of armor, and the center is just going to like rip apart Prabuty's infantry and flak half track easily. He does go for the Cromwell. Also lost each section. Some lost. In fact, it was the sniper that got exterminated by the Germans at that. Good kill there for Prabuty. And again, it's not like the Cromwell's going to be terrible against, you know, Prabuty's infantry. But the center would have offered him, you know, something a bit more explosive with a bit more shock effect. Also, Prabuty again continues this excellent fuel control here versus Caesar. So he's actually, like, at this rate, going to get out a plentiful and at a relatively decent pace as well, despite everything else. Good play there by Prabuty.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Enforcing healing. Cromwell is almost down there for Caesar. Almost ready for the British Empire. The Cromwell Mark IV cruiser tank. I mean, the funny thing is, most of the tanks the British Army would have used at this point in the war would have been Sherman tanks anyways.
Cromwell gun tank, ready for action.
Since, you know, the Americans just produced a lot of them. From there, going straight for the Volkswagen, charging in for the British Empire.
We're losing a capture point.
Got the tank commander up as well there. MG-34 firing into the advancing British troops, but versus a Cromwell tank, there's obviously great limits as to what an MG-34 can do. Cromwell raising forward C, 2 kills so far. 3 kills.
A capture point is being overrun.
And perhaps a few squalls with that shot. Schwerpunter quarters there up and authorized. Closing on that Panther 4, and he's charging straight to the base here. Caesar is fearless in the face of the Germanic foe. In particular, when said Germanic foe does not have a lot of anti-tank weapons. So we do now see the Sturmpionier here with a Panzerschreck, the Raketen Panzerbüchse, or rocket anti-tank rifle. Cromwell need repairs after that encounter here, dual encounter. West side here being firmly held by Prabuty. Again, Caesar might want to put a bit more effort to hold on to the fuel points a bit longer here versus Prabuty, because it's really, I think, putting a pretty hard stop to like any fuel lead he might otherwise achieve versus Prabuty. Also, some mines for this raid sections wouldn't be half bad either. Vic is then for Caesar. It's going to be a nice addition here. Veterans 1 here in Caesar's motorbike has been achieved at some point. Very good. There in the west, Jaeger's almost wiped. In the center of the section, as the raids are Jaegers there, backed up by an MD-44. Prabuty launches another sortie to reclaim the center from the English. East side here, Sturmpionier up, backed up by the Kednaf. And again, quick to abandon the eastern fuel point. It's going to be like, you know, again, just back to fuel lead here for Prabuty versus Caesar. In fact, he can now go for the Panther 4 Model J in a few seconds. And I imagine he's going to go for it. There we go. Particularly when he does have the Iron Hard Bulletin, which provides 5% more armor there for the Panther 4. What's something about there? Cromwell with 6 kills. So there you go. Vic, same machine gun teaming out there for Caesar and the British Army. Panther 4 Model almost done there for Prabuty in the 272nd. It's nearby, or support from the nearby 21st Panzer Division, as an infantry division would not have access to tanks on its own. Quick grenade in the Volksgrenadier. Or from the Volksgrenadiers on the raid section there. They could chuck the Molotov back. Probably won't. Got the Cromwell engaging as well here. And there you go. Prabuty is forced to fall back here once while continuing a fuel pond there to his opponent. But even if he's doing that, he's easily gaining the other one there, because Caesar just isn't putting a lot of effort into like defending them. Brownhunter gun in the center, machine gun charging in them. I'm not entirely sure why the machine is being forced while the force is staying back here. That feels like a bit of a tactical misstep, but whatever the case, it does appear to be working out there for Prabuty. East side here, flak half track once more disrupting and frustrating Caesar's attack here. 3 kills hasn't really done a lot when you think about it, but it's still been enough here to mess with Caesar a bit. And there you go, Panther 4 model ready here, the Panzerkampfwagen 4 aus von Jod. Last model of Panther 4 before the end of the war. An overall model more meant for, like, you know, being easier and cheaper to produce than previous models of Panzer 4. So, fun fact there. And in fact would have been slightly inferior in several ways to like some of the earlier Panther 4s. Like, for example, the actual Model J would have had a hand crank turret because they actually moved the engine or generator there for the turret. So that got a much slower turret rotation than the Model J because of that, amongst other things. So, little fun fact there. 6-pounder gun there for Caesar. Another one that's helped contain the German armoured foot. Got the Sturmpionier as the section there. Another 6-pounder gun ready. He's clearly going to be able to go for another Cromwell already now, or maybe a center here. But once more, we see the other fuel point once we're being rapidly lost here. Again, Caesar, I feel like, remains a bit too likely to just concede as a fuel point to the opponent too rapidly. More to the being surrounded here by German troops as Prabuty launch another offensive here. 6-pounder gun there being flanked by the Jaegers, quickly losing Robert there on the gun. And Terence follows after him into the pixelated afterlife, crumbling forwards. Machine gun there firing into the British, crumbling moving forwards. Panther 4 there. Already suffering some damage. Crumble up close contact, do more damage, but there you go. Cannon for there proves to be the winning factor here that forces Caesar to pull back his Cromwell. Machine gun there, there's a machine gun here. The Vickers that's getting the upper hand here. There's the MG34 forcing it back. East side there. Wide open. We do have a victory point for Caesar. There's actually quite notable 182 but versus 442. So definitely not all awkward here for Caesar, but I do feel like he should perhaps put a bit more effort into defending some of these fuel points against the Germans. Panther 4 there being fixed up. Sappers with Piats or projector infantry anti-tank. Setting flying there. Because was the Volksgrenadier. Crom there flanking in, building rack. Volks are definitely exposed out in the open. There we go. Veterans run on the Cromwell. Sappers around the Volks in the centre as well. They're backed up with the Vickers, and the Vickers probably did the job more than anything. East side here got the point here. Wants more claim for the British Empire, but Prabuty is rapidly moving in to shut that down. Bringing the flak half-track and the Aegis. And he's also pretty quick, it seems, to concede the point. In this case, he's left a little surprise there for Caesar to pick up on. And we got the flak half-track knocked out here. That is an excellent kill there for Caesar, and quite the slap across the face here for Prabuty as an excellent anti-infantry tool there. Stings quite a bit there for Prabuty. Mines here. They taking westwards there. Right into the booby trap. Oh, would you look at this? A 6th season of Blackadder. Don't! It's a trap! From there being pushed back by the Kidnapper. Good hit on the Volksgrenadiers there. Panther opening up, they shoots, misses another Panther 4 Mollier there for Prabuty and the German Panzerwaffe. Up north there, Jäger's basically points here and there. Again, the fuel points are just happily being traded back and forth between the two players. I feel like it's a bit awkward. Another contact towards the western fuel point, right, as of course Caesar's grabbing it, but crucially with a very limited force there after hitting the booby trap. That's going to be a quick wipe there. He's pretty unlucky, and it does appear that Caesar is in fact fairly unlucky versus Prabuty's rolling infantry assault. There we go, and to top it off, he dropped both of the Vickers K-Light machine guns here in the face of Prabuty's valiant infantry assault here. Mortar crew there being met with fierce firepower from the Volksgrenadier and the Sturmgewehrs. Could even see a wipe here, an extra hard slap across the face of Caesar here from Prabuty and the German Reich. There we go. Talk about painful here for Caesar. 2 wipes in short succession with 2 a mortar and then light machine guns that fall into the hands of Prabuty possibly. He still has a victory point here, though he will soon have a good amount of tanks, but still cracks are starting to show here in Caesar's forces and in his strategy here versus Prabuty. Almost got the eastern fuel point here. Raid 6 move towards the center. There we go. Trying to salvage the mortar, but instead ends up costing Prabuty quite a bit. They're good golly. That helps make up for some of the losses. Of course, Prabuty could just replace them with his mobiles done. Panther 4's going in with a hard push here for Deutschland section. They're finding the cover crumbling before the very eyes as the German Panzerwaffe strikes home. Bring up the Cron west side here. We'll need some fresh troops to pick up these Vickers K-Light machine guns. 6 guns willing to help deal with the Panther 4's. Cron in trouble with the German Panzerwaffe. And there goes 6 guns on the spot. Shots fired at the Panther 4, punching right through the side armor. Lost some points there steadily. We got 152 versus 114. I mean, Prabuty is still far behind the victory points. Keeping that pursuit against the Panther 4s with the 6 guns. Jägers versus the Sappers clearing out the mine for taking up quite a bit of damage, and now the 6 guns are a bit exposed here. But thankfully for Caesar, Prabuty doesn't have like any significant infantry reserves to exploit this opening. Cromwell there being hightailed out there. West fuel pond was being claimed by the British Empire. Cromwell now rushing from the west towards the east. but perhaps decides it's got better things to do. Panther Force being mobilized towards the center here now for Deutschland, but there go Cromwell ready. Right into the academy from the Panther Force there. Significant damage being inflicted now, and we got another raid section here for Caesar. There's a pretty late raid section call-in. Could just pick up these Vickers K's again, I guess, with them. We also want to grab back that mortar versus Prabuty. Both Panther Force need repairs, and the light infantry gun would also, think, be a handy-dandy addition here for Prabuty against Caesar.
We're losing a capture point.
Skirmishing around the east, enough not moving the raid section towards the west here to pick up those weapons. Straight to MU-34, which quickly halts down here Caesar's eastern push. This is Biscuit Company. We're suppressed by the rich. We have a Biscuit Company? I think so. They're after Apple Tea Company. Oh, right. Need to retreat the machine gun before it gets hosed up with the Panther 4. Second Panther 4 arriving. Down a half health here. Problems being fixed up, definitely need repairs. And with only one sapper section, it's definitely going to be a tougher challenge here to fix up these tanks fast here. So I think Caesar really wants to get another sapper section. There we go. 145 to 413. Prabuty keeps fighting, but sending some regards. There's definitely the potential to lose here. And there you go. Games of kills here as they charge at the raid section. The raid section's fighting fiercely. There you go. Bunhunt gun it off there. Got to flush out this Ins laughing, though. It's going to come at a pretty high price here for Prabuty. Fulton is the eggs being straight to the front line of the Cromwell here. Close to 82 here on the British medium tank or cruiser tank, as the British army operate with some slightly different doctrine there. Almost got the raid section there wiped up. Machine moving forwards. Raid sections blasting away there. No one's bothering with those Vickers K's. Bunhunt gun on the Vickers. Raid section trouble there. Cromwell keeps flying away there. 11 killed. So close to 82. Panther forming up here. Raid sections being shredded out in the open here. As the 272nd Infantry Division launching an assault here. Raid section suppressed with an MU-34 on the far flank. Anti-tank guns are in a really bad spot here. The cruiser being absolutely ripped apart here. Cromwell trying to flank that Sturmpioneer. They help to flank with that. Panther Force all doing a great job here. Pushing back Caesar. Second Cromwell. The first one has been lit on fire there. And this is just a complete disaster for Caesar. Tanks are on fire. Pierre to drop. 6-pounder guns are abandoned. And the Germans are right at the doorstep. This is horrific. Or terrific if you're Prabuty. Because this is amazing for the Germans. Absolutely amazing. Mostly, anyways. Sturmpioneer getting wiped is less amazing. But I think even to lose the Sturmpioneer squad, he's just inflicted so heavy damage and intense casualties on Caesar. He should be more than able to compensate for it. This is definitely not been great for Caesar. He still has a significant victory point lead, so theoretically Caesar could still turn this around, but the situation and the odds are not looking great here otherwise. Another trap there for Prabuty. That'll be the mechanized regiment, possibly an indicator he's going to go for the King Tiger, or at least set up the King Tiger as a possible plan B in case it becomes necessary. 6-pounder gun recruit again and moves into the exact same position. The others more or less got hosed in. Sapling 40. There we go. Anti-tank grenade there got cancelled for whatever reasons, allowing the Panther to quickly dive out of that one. Westwards here, fresh troops moving forwards there for German Reich.
They're trying to take it.
Panther 4 being hauled back. 12 kills, veteran 2. Troops out from the base of Caesar. We'll have to see what he's planning next, though. Another Cromwell, for example, makes sense, but he could also be planning a Firefly here, or maybe planning something bigger, like a Crocodile or a Comet, or Churchill tank, I guess. We'll have to see if he actually gets that far. We got 108 versus 406. Raid section being routed here, routing the academy after we've got the Panther Force way to counterattack here, including the Veteran 2, which is very good versus infantry at that stage. Due to the increased accuracy bonus it gets Veteran 2, which then combines with the already high accuracy of the Model J Panzer IV. So Veteran 2 Model J Panzer IV here is very good versus infantry. And there you go, Jaegers with the Vickers K there. On top of the marksman rifle is definitely bad news for infantry. Another hit vetting veteran 3, but in this case they decide to perhaps get out of there. Yeah, a bit of a slip there by Caesar not grabbing back those Vickers Ks. Now he has to deal with Jaegers with 2 light machine guns. Down the center there, Jaegers engaging here. You got 108 versus 368. Caesar now sound clues at make 2 points here versus Prabuty. Fulton's there, caught by the British tank, and there you go, Ken Blanche, a great shot there, punching right through the armor. Vickers in the center there, unleashing a torrent of hell there on the advancing Jaegers, as Prabuty's just trying to grab all the victory points, partly slow down his bleed, but also, turn the bleed on Caesar instead. And the west side here, raid section versus a ace Fulton score. There's not a great situation there for Caesar's raid section, and they're quickly sent packing into a nearby building to hide out until reinforcements can come bail out their sorry asses. In the center, Vickers versus MD34, and the Vickers so far is pretty much being the MD34. They could try and pop take aim. And more to the recruit by Caesar. Thumbs up. Repair Pioneers up. Could be for that. Could also be, again, planning a King Tiger here. Section East here, caught by the Panther 4, and quickly sent packing with 2 losses inflicted. Picking up the Panther 4. Bit of quantity as Caesar's situation is definitely looking a bit tougher here. Versus Prabuty and the Third Reich. Close to red. Just riding all over these Jaegers and crushing them. But no. They, well, most of them managed to get out of there. But certainly also a good portion just got turned into mulch there. It seems like Caesar's himself planning something biggish, because he's got quite a bit of fuel there, but so far nothing's really happening with it. We got air support called in here by Prabuty against Caesar. His Cromwell at a high risk of just getting completely demolished here now. Luftwaffe, unless it turns out to be completely cross-eyed, should have a chance taking out the Cromwell. There you go. Caesar loses his remaining tank in the face of the German Luftwaffe. Supporting the advance here by Prabuty. Definitely great news for Prabuty, but certainly crashing news for Caesar. He is going for this Sherman Firefly, or Sherman VC or IC. Mortar firing down here, but yet overall not looking great here for Caesar at this point. And it almost appears like he's given up, but no, there's a bit of fighting spirit left in Caesar here in the face of Prabuty's armored fist. Both Panther 4s veteran 2 now. Definitely bad news for Caesar's infantry, and we got more Piets being handed out here in a desperate attempt to turn the tide against Prabuty's Panzerwaffe, but will it be enough? Will it be able to turn the tide here against the German Reich? As Prabuty further thinks of mending his grasp here across the battlefield. Firefly almost done there for Caesar. Almost done. Vickers setting up, there you go, full shot straight to the Vickers here. Mortar setting up, and there you go, Firefly out. Adding the Chula rockets and the tank commander upgrade. That is a really nasty incendiary grenade there, really burning for a lot of Caesar's forces. 102 versus 317. And there we go, we do get the King Tiger here for Prabuty, the Königstiger, the Tiger 2. Caesar with another advance here for the British Empire. Going straight for the center here, continuing the west side. Trying to divert some forces eastwards there. Even he needs to be mindful of booby traps. Oh dear. Tactically dangerous there, moving in the Firefly first. Could have run straight to the two Raketten, so they could then take out the Firefly. In fact, they already took it down to half health here. King Tiger on the west side here, the Königstiger. We got 101 versus 312. Mortar being caught here by the Jaegers with the Vickers by the way there. There you go, suppressed by Vickers' heavy machine gun team. Close call there though. And there you go though. Ends up conceding here when he sees the King Tiger and realizes he's in a bad spot. Plus he's about to lose his Firefly to the Kenres, at which point he has no way of stopping the Königstiger. So there you go, GG, game over. A loss for Caesar, victory for Prabuty and the German army. Fused back and forth fight in the end. I feel like Caesar conceded the few points too easily, but also I think he struggled a bit, overall fighting efficient in the map. He focused too much in the center at times, didn't look to maneuver enough, I think. But again, this map can also be tough to maneuver on. There's a lot of what I call dead space, like these massive groves here. But also, the mortar could have been, I think, utilized much more efficient as well here by Caesar versus Prabuty. Didn't keep it up at times with attack, didn't like mortar barrage, deploy smokes. I think there's some elements there that I think made it easier for Prabuty to turn the game around against Caesar, despite, otherwise great success of Caesar in the early game. So there you go, though. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't your enemies. This is Imperial Danger. Cheers, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.